Okay, welcome back to another video of Let's Learn Programming with EasyLang. My name is Marshall Burns and I am the creator of the Easy Programming Language. And for this video, we're going to be talking about arrays. So first, what are arrays? Arrays are just lists of a specific data type, right? A collection of a specific data type. So think of a grocery list. You have apples, oranges, bananas, milk, bread, butter, cheese, whatever, right? That's in programming terms an array. It's a list, right? Um, so Easy has two types of arrays. We have dynamic arrays and fixed size arrays. If you look at the main.easy file, I've declared both types. Dynamic arrays in Easy are declared with the temp keyword, and then you name your array, and then you use your square brackets, and inside those square brackets you use whatever data type, or you assign the data type that this array will hold. Then you can do equals, and then inside curly braces the value that this array will hold, or values I should say. Okay, and then fixed size arrays, just like other things that are immutable and easy, are declared with the const keyword. You can then name it. Same thing as above, but we use the data type and then we use a comma and then the number of elements that this array will hold. Okay, well, real quick, what are elements? Elements are each thing in our list. Okay, so if we're looking at line number 6, 1, 2, and 3 are both elements, or all elements. All right. The difference between the two is that dynamic arrays can shrink and they can grow. So if we want to add 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up to 100 to our dynamic array, we can. If we want to just have it be 1 or 2, we can. They can shrink and grow. Fixed size arrays are constant. They are fixed. They cannot change. They cannot be modified in any way, shape, or form after they are declared. Okay. So another thing to note, I said each thing in an array is called an element. Well, each element is at a specific index. So in programming, we always start counting from 0. So even though I have the value of 1 here, this is actually the 0 index of this array. So 1 is in the 0 index, 2 is in the first index, 3 is in the second index, and so on. Okay, so that's something to be very aware of. Always remember those terms, index and elements. So declaring arrays, we just went over that. Accessing and modifying elements in arrays. So let's first access an element in our array. So we're going to go ahead and do standard print ln, and we're going to do our dynamic array. And to access something, let's say we want to access the number 1. Well, that's in our 0 index. So all we have to do is square brace or square brackets and then 0. And now if we were to run our program, we get 1. Okay, great. So we can access things like that. We can do the same with our fixed array. And let's say we want to access whatever is in index 2. This should give us 3. Perfect. You can ignore that warning for now. That's something different. Okay, modifying elements in arrays. Now remember, only dynamic arrays can have their contents modified. So let's say we want to do dynamic array, and we're going to access the 0 index. We're going to say that is now equal to 100. Right? Now if we do standard print ln, our dynamic array, we get, actually I'm also going to comment out this line because we're not using that right now, 100, 2, and 3. Now, if I try to do the same thing with our fixed size array, we should get an error. There we go. Cannot modify immutable variable fixed array. All right. So that's a basic way of accessing and modifying elements in our arrays. we can do something called loop through arrays. So let's say we have an array of names. I'm just going to declare that real quick. It's going to be a string type, and we're going to have John, Paul, Sarah, and I don't know, Kyle. Let's do that. We want to print out each of these names. Well, as opposed to doing names, or as opposed to doing standard.println names index 0 and then doing that for the next index and then the next index. We could do that, but that's terrible practice. What we want to do is loop through that array. So we can do that by using this control flow keyword, for each, for underscore each, and then we're going to do name in names. So for each, you can name this little variable here whatever you want. That doesn't really matter, but ideally you do the single form of your plural name array, right? If you have it like that. So I like to do this. So I call this array names. We're just going to go single, right? Name in names, which is our actual array. So we're accessing that array, and we want to do std.println name. That's all we have to do. We don't have to do any indexes. Let's go ahead and clear and run that. And there we go. There's each of our names on a new line. Okay. We can do the same with any array. We can do for each and whatnot. Okay, so we can also pass arrays to functions. So let's say we have another function here that's called print each name. All right, this needs to take in an array of strings. So we're going to pass names. We're going to create a parameter called names, and we're going to assign it the string array type. And we're going to call this function and print out, let's do this, for each name in names. Print out each name. Perfect. So the same logic we just had, but we moved it into a function. We're going to call our function, print each name, and we're going to pass it our array. All right, now let's see what we get. There we go, the same exact thing. We just passed that array as an argument to this function, doing the same exact logic we did earlier. Okay, lastly, we'll go over something real quick, multi-dimensional arrays. So multi-dimensional arrays essentially mean you're going to have arrays within arrays. So I can do something like this. Temp, we'll call it matrix. And then we're going to do square bracket. And then another square bracket. And we're going to assign it the int data type. Okay, what does this mean? We have a multi-dimensional array. We have an array that contains other arrays. So let's assign a value. We're going to do here. All right. So we have one array on the outside, and we have an array that holds 1, 2, and 3, and then this one's going to hold 7, 8, 9. Okay. So now we have created a multi-dimensional array. So we can do for each I m in matrix. We're going to print out whatever m is. There we go. We've printed out each individual array. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Well, that wraps up arrays. Very basic stuff. You can do a lot more with arrays. As you can see here on line 2, there is a standard library module for arrays that allow you to do way more things with arrays. Um, but for now, we're going to keep it very basic. I just wanted to give a nice overview of them. So thank you for watching. If you're interested in learning more about Easy, please check out the repository and the language website. You can find those in the description box below. If you think you're interested in actually trying Easy out, all you have to do is go to the language website and you can try it out online without installing anything at all. Um, so, yep, thanks for watching. Peace.